Right, straight off to our panel. If you've got any questions.
I just know you were in Australia.
Oh yeah, it's party time.
Okay, then, good pitch.
Tom.
What's your strategy for moving to new campuses?
Okay, so before we do that, we want to have a really good model. So we're looking at probably in about 18 months' time, we would actually start setting up at other universities, as well as having a really strong national model. It's very collaborative, so we'd be in talks with the universities for a good 6 months before we actually try and implement any action, so that they understand how the model would work, and we'd have the resources in order to sustain that group, get it off the ground in the first place, and link them up with alumni from our pilot project who can guide them through that process.
There we go. I wondered what was the challenge here against the UK. So what's instantly that you noticed different about Australia?
She's doing research for herself.
Oh yeah.
That's cheating.
Where's the best place to live?
I'll start charging for consultancy. Okay, so the makeup of Australian campuses is very different. There's a much higher proportion of international students, and if you want to engage them effectively around the topic of mental health, particularly students from the Asian regions, you have to approach it from a different angle. So they have a lot more taboo around mental health, around mental illness. So we're working with the Student Development International Department at UNSW so that we can design some strategies to effectively engage international students as well. And apart from that, there's already been action like this in the UK. We kind of just jumped on what was already a trend, whereas in Australia it's only just starting to get going.
Tell us a bit more about this pilot that's going on, what university and what's been happening.
The pilot is at UNSW, so it's been running for 6 weeks now. So we've trained up our first batch of volunteers. We've got some metrics in place to evaluate the program as we go along and improve it for next year. And they are just starting to put some activities on around the UNSW campus.
Is UNSW paying for that, and do you expect other universities will pay for it to be on their campus?
It's the bigger picture. Yeah, I mean, we think there's a very good opportunity to turn this into a university-funded model because they are essentially the beneficiaries. How we package that up is very much in development at the moment.
And last one, Australia. There's a lot of money in Australia at the moment for depression and mental health and young people.
Yeah.
Have you looked at potential partners, or are you looking at doing this straight up yourself?
We're going to steal all the money from the existing mental health organisation. No, I mean, in the UK, we came across this as well, that a lot of the big organisations didn't want to work together. We don't want to duplicate. There are some fantastic organisations out there already, like Inspire, Headspace, who have very specific programs. So we'd look at taking a collaborative approach with them, potentially taking a little bit of the mental health sector funding if we can get a bite of that.
And last one, who else is doing this with you at the moment? There must be more than you at the moment, I'm assuming.
Yeah, there's some of the staff at UNSW have been working on this, particularly the counselling team, and a couple of postgrads with kind of expertise in specific areas that's useful to us. Nationally, or in terms of the scaling up of the project, we've been engaging with Rotary and the Centre for Social Impact, and we're exploring a couple of other partners in this process who will help us, particularly with our organisational planning phase, which we're in at the moment.
I like it. I think it's got legs. It's a really good idea.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Nate.